Michael, you are the founder and co-owner of Green Bean Pharm.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about Green Bean Pharm for those listeners and viewers that are tuned in right now that are going, Green Bean? Is this green beans? What is this about?
So Green Bean Pharm is it's a cannabis recreational / medicinal company. We've been here in Tulare County for about 5 years now. We actually were one of the 2 dispensary companies to get a license in Wood Lake, which is in this area, the Central Valley, is the only place you're going to be able to get recreational cannabis come, say, in the next couple months, right? So it's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for the Central Valley because it's the first time you'll be able to buy recreational weed in this area after the Prop 64 passed last year. And so everyone's really just stoked and excited to see what happens and get it all rolling.
No, I love it, man. And I'm excited to have you because we've been talking about this a lot on the show in regards to, not only have I talked to highway patrol officers, I've talked to just, regular marijuana consumers and just, getting a vast, almost like a full bucket of information, right? In regards to what's going on, because a lot of people don't understand, it's legal. You can walk into a storefront like yourselves, that like so one of two,
yeah.
And you can purchase, and a lot of people still are skeptical of it. And it's like, no, it's like it is legal. It is official. You can walk in and purchase your marijuana. And on top of that, people don't understand all the different options to marijuana, right?
Yeah.
People think, you roll up a doobie and you're smoking just your cigarette. It's like, no. You can go and there's chewables. There's a lot of different types of marijuana edibles, right?
Yeah. So cannabis. I think everyone's sort of familiar with the bud, right? Like that's what everyone thinks of.
Mm-hmm.
But the industry has really evolved over the last so many years. We really have a wide range of items now that are infused with cannabis. So you have edibles, like you talked about, chocolates, gummies, etc., like that. Then you start getting more nuanced stuff like concentrates, which are like vape cartridges, which is really popular right now. That's actually the second largest popular type of way to ingest cannabis outside of just smoking it, right? Then you got like shatters and sort of the more it's more of like the hardcore type people who need a really, really high or want that. And then beyond that, you have like tinctures and topicals. Those are really more for people who are looking for that pain management. They're trying to get like specific spots on their body. They're trying to just like incorporate it without ingesting it orally. So we just have like a wide range of stuff just depending on who you are and what you're really looking for.
No, yeah, absolutely. And then, like I said, I was looking online. I saw like people are creating like massage oils that have it in it. I mean, it's just blowing up, literally. And there's so many things with cannabis and so many positives to cannabis as well. What are some of the challenges that you've met creating your company with everything that goes on with cannabis and like all the rules and regulations and all that?
Yeah, so cannabis is more regulated than alcohol and tobacco.
Wow.
So that gives you a little bit of an idea of just how many rules are going into it, right? There are 152 pages were the emergency regulations that were released by California last year in preparation for this. And that's not even the final regulations. They're going to even put out more. But it gives you sort of the idea of just how dense of paperwork and sort of red tape that a company like ours has to go through before we can even sell an iota of cannabis to the public, right? So that's sort of like the reason why it's such a long process to actually get up and running, because at so many different levels, but be it your company, how it works, to the actual location, to how it's laid out, to how the construction's done. All of that ties into the the regulation of cannabis itself. And then beyond that, you just have the sort of social or, this side of things where, we're having to go out and sort of educate the public, explain where they will be able to get it, sort of the differences, and, just sort of answer, a lot of basic questions too, just about the plant itself, about the current legal status of it, what it means on a federal level versus state level. There's just a lot of different things to take into account.
Are you constantly having to break through walls, man? Because it's like, I feel like in this industry, you kind of like, you break through one and then all of a sudden another one comes down on you.
It's funny. I don't really look at it as breaking through walls. I just kind of I see it as just like we're on the cutting edge, the forefront of a new industry. So everything is a wall, right? Like everything is just a new hurdle to get past because
That's
you just
true.
sort of no one's done it before you, right? Like in California, no one had recreational before this year, so everything is new. It's new from the state's level. It's new from the people who are actually overseeing it. Down to our level, it's new for us to actually like ramp up to this new level of serving the community in that way.
So in a sense, you don't get frustrated too much because at the same time, while you're wanting to start your business, get all these things open to the public and get it available to everyone, there are other officials on a state level or federal level, whatever might be the case, that are still trying to learn what this is all about.
Yeah, you'd actually be surprised by the amount of people. I would say more on a local level, that even on the official level, on the local level, who just don't understand the law. They get the generals of it. They get the what's allowed and what's not allowed. But really, to get to more of the granular stuff, they're actually coming to us and asking us for clarification so that they can go back to their city officials or their county officials and kind of give a better picture to those individuals. So we were actually really surprised by just how much I feel like California just wasn't ready. They weren't completely educated on it. So come 2017 to 18 now, like everyone's scrambling just to like catch up and get get informed with what's going on basically.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. And on top of that, Green Bean Farm, you're opening up a storefront.
Correct.
So how were you operating before the storefront?
So we operated as basically a direct-to-door service.
Okay.
So we had our main warehouse, our office, and we would basically go anywhere in Tulare County, to someone's home and deliver directly to their door, in a discreet fashion. And that's sort of how we sort of built our brand. That's how we built our knowledge. During that whole time, we did things, in compliancy with state and local regulations as best as possible. It was definitely a struggle, and it's definitely a learning process for us. I think it was a learning process for anyone who starts a cannabis company because it's just so new. But we've been able to really build a loyal following over the last 4 years, and that certainly contributed to our ability to open up this awesome storefront.
So the storefront, what is the ultimate goal for you? You're wanting to provide the cannabis opportunities to not only people that currently use it, but also future users, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, now that it's recreational, I think we're going to see a lot of people who kind of on the fence about it. They weren't going to go out and get a medical recommendation or something like that for the medical side of things, but now it's recreational. They can stop in there. Even if they're not interested in buying right then, they can come in and kind of look at the facility, and get some questions answered, right? So we're seeing a lot more people. We're hearing a lot more people saying, "Oh, my parents or my uncles or aunts, family members, they were on the fence, but." I kept telling them about it. Now it's recreational. They feel way more open just to be able to go in there, get something small and try it, and then kind of pass the final judgment. So we expect a large percentage of our population that comes in those front doors to be like first-time users who are just curious, right? Like maybe they're not even going to be long-term smokers. They just want, it's available now. It's legal. They just want to try it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And where will this storefront be located?
So it's located in Woodlake. The exact address is 515 West Naranjo Boulevard.
Okay.
So it's right out there, I think, off the 216 highway if you're going down to the Sequoias. It's right on the outskirts of Woodlake. It's a big facility, 4,000 square feet building that we're using. So it's going to be really large and open and spacious, very accommodating for a large number of people at once, and we really trying to build the facility out to accommodate all needs, whether you're recreational, medicinal, whether you know a lot about a cannabis or you're brand new. We're going to have something there available to sort of help you and guide you in that process.
We have the information here on the screen as well. info@greenbeanfarm.com, and that's PHARM, not
That's correct.
FARM. Especially in this area, it would be, a lot of people would think farming, but no, it's Green Bean, PHARM. So that's info@greenbeanfarm.com, where you can get in touch with Michael and find out more information about the storefront. When are you planning for it to officially launch?
So we haven't announced our official launch date.
Okay.
It's a little bit tentative on inspections and stuff like that.
Okay.
But we currently are slating for, we like to say, like an early summer release, basically.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about yourself. What got you into starting this business, and a little background for Michael Dunaway?
Sure. So I have a degree in international business. I'm originally from Oklahoma, actually.
Oh, wow.
I moved here something about 7 or 8 years ago. Actually was originally here in California to work in video game industry. So I worked there for about 5 years. And in the midst of that, I started this company on the side. For me, I came from a very conservative background. Oklahoma is not a place known for cannabis. And it's certainly still very strict there on cannabis. So coming here, everything was new to me in terms of the cannabis industry. Met my wife here, and sort of together we shared a passion for cannabis over time. We just decided that it was a good opportunity to open a cannabis business here in the area of Central Valley. It didn't seem at the time like there was a lot of good representations in the industry. And with my business background, I really wanted to sort of capitalize on that. So over time, it just kind of kept growing and growing to the point where I quit my main job, and now I do this full time.
That is so cool, and it's so cool to see that you and your wife together have built this great company.
Yeah.
Does she still currently work with you now?
She does still work with
Awesome.
me. She's a little unemployed right now because we're not quite open. But,
No, of course, yeah.
But she is definitely 50-50 in a lot of the decisions that we make with the company, and I think a lot of the success actually comes from that joint decision making we've made.
Well, and I think that opens up a whole new perspective too, in the fact that for our listeners and viewers that are tuned in, you're helping out not only a local business, but also a couple that came together, had a dream, had a vision. And here they are, Green Bean Pharm.
Yeah, it's it's actually the funny thing about the cannabis industry is it's very much like the way it's sort of building up. It's very much like a grassroots, like everything you kind of talk about in America. Trying to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and kind of like make your way and sort of like just blaze a new path. The cannabis industry is really providing that for a lot of people in the United States right now.
All right. So once again, let's provide them the information. You can get in touch with Michael. info@greenbeanfarm.com.
Correct.
That's green bean, bean, B-E-A-N, in case people get it wrong, P-H-A-R-M. So that's info@greenbeanfarm.com. Once again, man, I wish you the best of success, especially with the launch. I'd love to have you back on once we get the launch date so we can give more people information. And then on top of that, I want to provide more knowledge out there to my listeners and viewers that are tuning in right now that may not know that much about the cannabis industry. You know what I mean? Because I think there's potential here where you got somebody listening that goes, like I said, they've been skeptical to try it. But once they try it, give it a shot. It could, there could be some benefits for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I ever come back on here and we, want to answer questions from viewers or something like that, I was just at COS yesterday on a panel there answering questions from the community. So we and I myself am definitely geared towards wanting to educate as many people as possible. If you have questions, then by all means, you reach out to us on our email. We even have a newsletter there that you're going to be able to reach out to and get information from us. And the whole goal is just to educate, really get people comfortable with the idea of cannabis as a whole, even if you're not going to use it. And then, hopefully I'll encourage you to come to the business too.
What were some of the questions that were being asked at the panel?
So the panel had a number of people on it, law enforcement, myself, and then also some different doctors on it as well. So it ranged in questions. A lot of questions sort of out the gate are usually about, can children get to it, and how is it going to be packaged in a way that doesn't encourage children to eat it. And then also questions regarding like health effects, long-term health effects, if any, short-term health effects. And then for myself, it just comes down to questions related to what's the actual process. If I go in there, what am I going to expect, and what am I going to walk out with, basically.
Exactly. No, man. Like I said, I want to have you back because I think we need to provide more information for our listeners. And on top of that, it's in Woodlake. It's not too far from here, not too far from Fresno, not too far from Bakersfield. You're right in the middle.
I mean, for context, right, outside of Woodlake, the nearest place that you're going to be able to get it is in Sacramento currently.
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, like, you're coming from Fresno. It's a lot shorter of a distance than going
Exactly.
to
I mean, even like like I said, these small towns, that are here in Central California, go to Woodlake. On top of it, it's a beautiful drive to Woodlake.
And you know what's amazing about where our storefront location is? We have the mountains right behind it.
Oh,
it's
beautiful.
Perfect. It's actually
Are you
perfect.
going to end up maybe like later on having like a little patio area where people can hang out and maybe some entertainment?
That's actually, we have a really large parking space. So it was our long-term goal to, have radio stations out there, have a little bit of, we can't unfortunately give out free, freebies or anything like that, but we can certainly encourage everyone to come to for like a community day, and we sort of give free perks to everyone who's there, basically. So.
I'd love to do like an eggs, bacon, cannabis, and Joey.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Love to have you.
Michael Dunaway, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining us. Once again, anything else you want to tell to our listeners and viewers how to get in touch with you? Just the email.
Email is the primary way. We'll have more social media contacts up there later on.
info@greenbeanfarm.com. That's PHARM. info@greenbeanfarm.com. Green Bean Farm, everybody. Be on the lookout and contact Michael via email. It's the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.